We spend so much time on the channel talking about free-to-play mobile games and bringing you the newest ones, but today I want to really focus on PC games, specifically Steam, that are free-to-play, new, and some of the best ones to play right now as we're starting to dive into 2025. Let's take a look at my top 10 with some old gems in there as well. We're starting off the list here today with an extraction shooter, one called Delta Force that just released here in December of this year. This is a really nice title. One, it looks absolutely incredible, and I think that in a day like today, now, you need something that's going to be up to that standard because of the big competition that's here in the space. With Call of Duty, you have PUBG, and a whole bunch of other shooters that everyone's into right now. If you're coming to the scene, the game better look good. And Delta Force definitely does. And as we mentioned, it's an extraction shooter, so it's objective based, which I actually really like. And the best thing of all is it's a free-to-play game. You could play it, try it, if you like it, dive deeper into it and engage in deeper fashion. But all the games on the list here today are that free-to-play element, which I actually really do like. This is a shooter that's definitely worth trying. Next up, we have Sternova, and this is a third-person shooter that is built in an anime world. This game looks absolutely incredible, and I love that it's in third person. The one thing though that I'll say about this is when you see the artwork style, you would expect an action RPG or maybe even a MOBA style game, but they're actually tossing it into a third person shooter, which is a very North American style game with a very Western style artwork. Now, the only reason I would say that you should not try this game is if you really don't like anime. But if you love third-person shooters and anime is okay, I would still definitely recommend that this be a game that you try out. Free to play, you can't go wrong with that. Give it a shot. And again, let me know what you think. All right, now I know that you thought that this was going to be on the list here today, and well, you were right. This one is very deserving. It's a new title that just dropped in December on Steam, is free to play, brings in your favorite Marvel characters, and is a shooter multiplayer hero game. Now, it kind of combines all from the best worlds here, and this one is doing very, very well. People are actually in love with Marvel Rivals, and it's bringing us into an IP that is beloved by the community as well. Now, maybe you're not a Marvel person, and that's cool. Maybe you're not into the whole superhero thing. This has got you covered because the rest of the gameplay that the game has to offer is actually amazing as well. Funny thing here, the game is made by NetEase Games, which typically creates mobile titles, but this one is an exclusive game that is not mobile. It's PC, it's console, I think it's console. It's gonna be all that, but it is not on mobile, which was actually quite interesting that there was no cross-play there. Either way, this one is really, really good. Probably one of the best ones on the list of the newer titles that we're featuring here today. Let me introduce you to Tank Arena Total Operation, a competitive strategy tank PvP game, if you couldn't already tell. Now, why play this one over some of the other tank games that have been out for a while? Well, this one's also very fun. It's free to play, so why not give something from a genre that you enjoy a shot? I am an advocate for trying out the newest titles in the genre of games that I play. So if I'm someone that's like into World of Tanks or something like that, I would definitely give this one a go. The combat's really good. Graphics are decent. Definitely not the best, but decent. And the game is actually fun. The fun factor is there, which is what allows me to be able to recommend something like this to you. Not the biggest, tank or vehicle shooter type person myself, but you may be. And if you are, this is one you could try. Now let's get out of the shooter genre and take a look at an MMORPG free-to-play massive multiplayer online game. This one is called Throne and Liberty and actually released back in the beginning of October here on Steam. It's an amazing looking title and, as we mentioned, very different from the others that we have here on the list. It's very easy to bring in action games and shooting style games here in North America because they're actually extremely popular and really just a lot of people love that genre. But on lists like this, it's nice when we can bring something that's different, that's not just a straight up shooter, run and gunner type game, and instead bring in an MMORPG, which is actually a genre that I quite like myself, being a big Diablo player. So for all you action RPG fans or MMORPG fans, this is a title that's definitely worthy of you trying, and like all the others on the list, it's free to play, so the barrier to entry is non-existent. Download it, play it, if you like it, keep playing it. Next up, we have Dark and Darker, and what we're looking at here is a dungeon crawler multiplayer early access title that's been out now for a couple of months. Now this is very different because it's a slower paced game, a lot darker than the others. It's not quite an MMORPG where you have this massive world, but more like a really niche style game that takes you into those dark dungeons. This is a looter type game where you're trying to find things to upgrade your account and to basically complete the quests. This is something that has a very niche fan base, and this game actually looks incredible. Once Human is an open world survival game that's been out probably for approximately 6 months now on Steam. It's open world where you're going to be doing crafting so that you can live in that open world. Also, it's a multiplayer experience. It quite reminds me of very PUBG-like things, but with an open world element to it. There was a mobile game that came out that was very similar to that. I forget the name of it. It was PUBG related, but it was a mobile game and it was survival. I don't remember the name. That's fine. That's not what this is about. This is something that looks really cool. I like the gunplay inside of the game. I like the enemies that you encounter, and I like the survival element that the game has to bring to the scene. Also, most people are loving this game, so that's a good thing as well. Now I want to share with you the first Descendant, which is a looter shooter style adult game that's also free to play. Now, I love looter shooters. They're a good mix of an action RPG where you have to go and collect and build up your account, and a shooter style game, very like Destiny-like, which maybe is on the list later on. We'll have to see in just a minute. But I was big into games like Borderlands and others of that nature. This one fits very much into that niche. Great looking game as well, definitely AAA, and one that you should take a peek at. Now, I have to share one with you that's not a new game. And I've been talking about it for mobile games because it's a mobile game on iOS, and I'm talking about Warframe. Warframe has been on Steam for a minute, and it's still one of the best, most popular titles on the platform. You build out your Warframe, you go into PvP and PvE battles, and you just dominate and have a ton of fun on the grind. With that said, the grind is intense. But this is a game that is far from new, continuously supported, very free to play, grind heavy, and an actual amazing AAA title. All right, now I mentioned looter shooter before, one that I can't also ignore, not a new title, but Destiny 2 is like Warframe, just a leader on the platform. A really great looter shooter, PvE specific style game. That's what I love about this one. You could play this game along with Warframe as well and look like a boss while you're playing. It's very easy to get into the mechanic and to make yourself look like you really know what you're doing inside of the game. Combat is smooth. Graphics are absolutely insane. The story and lore is there. And there's even PvP as well to go along with the PvE events that happen inside of the game. I've played quite a bit of both of these games, this one specifically, and really did enjoy my time inside of it and would recommend that you give it a shot, even though it's not the newest title on the list, and far from it. And we're rounding things out with Lost Ark, because how can you not? Lost Ark is an amazing MMORPG title that looks amazing, is free to play, gameplay is amazing, updates are on point, and this is another leading ARPG on the platform, being Steam. You can't ignore this one. It is absolutely beautiful as far as graphic goes. Combat is on point, and gameplay is just fun and engaging. If you guys want to stay up to date on what you should be playing, whether free-to-play games on Steam, mobile titles, or more, subscribe to the channel. It'll be worth it.